Hey guys, here with another weekly draft video here on the Neat Zone Magic channel. We'll be doing another Battle for Zendikar draft. Only a few more weeks of this, so enjoy it while you can, I guess. It's been a pretty great format. I think Oath of the Gatewatch will be pretty good too. I mean, since it's partly Battle for Zendikar as well, so it looks like this block in general will be fun. But I'll be back with you when the first pack opens. Okay, let's see what we have. All right, we have a Sunken Hollow. Not the most exciting of first picks. Those are good. Sometimes you do want to be fixing in this format, so but usually don't want to first pick them. Brood Monitor is probably one of the stronger cards in the pack, and I think it's probably even better than Bane of Balaget, but it's green. Like if it wheels all the way to us, maybe green's open enough that we want to be in it. Or, if I saw this fourth or fifth pick, I'd think about green, but there's also a Complete Disregard in the pack, which is just a really good card. Also a Mist Intruder, which is good for setting up the Ingest deck, but Complete Disregard's good in basically any deck that has black in it anyway, and I think that's what I'll take here. If green were actually good in the format, I would probably value Brood Monitor over Complete Disregard, and green can only be good if it's super open, so... If everyone thinks that, though, the Brood Monitor may make it back to us, so we'll see what happens there. We'll take a Complete Disregard for now, though. Okay, we got a Carrier Thrall. I think I'm inclined to go with Nettle Drone here. Back is not very impressive. Fortified Rampart's good in the Blue-White Skies deck. Eyeless Watcher's good if you can actually make green work. Shoddy Offshoot and Scythe Leopard and Anticipate are all either unplayable or barely playable. Same for the Baloth and Mindraker. So the Thrall's good, of course, but Nettle Drone's definitely the best card. Shadow Glider's also good, and Wavewing Elemental's fine, but we're going to go with the Nettle Drone. We already have one colorless card, so it could end up working out for us that the colorless deck may happen. Okay, there's Transgress the Mind, which I'm not a fan of, and not much in red or black for us, if that's where we want to be going, but there's a Tightening Coils. There's also a Kozilek Sentinel, which is worth thinking about, but I feel like I'll pick one of them up later than I will a Tightening Coils, which is just good removal in this format. Ruin Processor, also attractive, but I think I go with the Coils here over the Sentinel and the Ruin Processor. Those are both cards that there's usually plenty of to go around. Although I guess... I don't know why I was thinking I was in blue. I'm not definitely in blue yet, so maybe I should just take the Sentinel or the Ruin Processor. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take the Sentinel. It's, a card that's definitely overperformed in this format. Here I think I just take Demon's Grasp. Bloodbound Vampire is good if you're in the Lifelink deck. Spell Shrivel, if we were in the blue, if we were adding blue to this deck would be good, but I think unless you pick up fixing, like, the Sunken Hollow we saw early, going blue with this deck isn't a great idea. I think I'd rather just take the, average removal spell over the other stuff in the pack. It's a pretty late Halimar Tidecaller, which is a card I like a lot. Also a Culling Drone, but I think I take Stone Fury here. It's another good removal. It's better than Demon's Grasp, but it's not a whole lot better. It's just a solid removal spell, but I think I value it more than I do Culling Drone. Even though we are sort of incentivized to play colorless things, I think picking up removal is a good idea. Okay, I will take Pilgrim's Eye. It gives us fixing. It's colorless. I'm going to take it over Evolving Wilds even because it's, got a body. So I think I like that. Okay, Silent Skimmer I really like. I also like Myers Malice, but I like the Skimmer more, especially in the deck it looks like we're building. So we'll go with the Skimmer. So our removal, other than Complete Disregard, isn't awesome, but it's serviceable, and, that's something. It's either Bone Splinters or Geyser Field Stalker. I don't usually mind having one Bone Splinters in my deck, but we already have decent removal, and we're only in pack 1, so I think I'll take the Stalker. I'm hoping it doesn't make my deck. If it makes the deck, it usually means you're kind of low on playables, just because he's kind of underwhelming. I mean, he hits pretty hard, which is nice, but he's just so easy to kill in this format since he only has 2 toughness. People can usually double block him if you don't have the landfall, and it's still just a 1-for-1. Like, you can't really blow them out the way most menace creatures can. Even with the landfall, sometimes it's possible. But especially with a 3/2. So, and for 5 mana, that's not a good deal. We just had Boggart Brood in Magic Origins, who's a 3 mana 3/2 with menace. But it also had, it didn't have the other line attacks. Okay, well, Brood Monitor did make it all the way back to me. And this pack, other than the monitor, doesn't have anything I like. So I'm going to take it. If our colors end up looking like they're being choked off, then we may go green, and I think I'll take a Fertile Thicket following that same line of reasoning. And here, there's not really, I mean, I guess I'll take a Brood Hunter Worm. I mean, maybe, yeah, I'll take Mortuary Mire. I think I probably need more bombs in my deck to make it worth running, but I think it's okay. Okay, we can just take a 5 mana dude with Evasion or speculate on a Fertile Thicket that we may or may not play. I think I'll just take the guy with Evasion, who is fine. And I'll take the Mantis. And I will take a Plains, because Lava Separator is awful. Okay, so Brood Monitor making it all the way back to us means green's really open. And there's a black-red rare for us, as well as Rune. I think that's probably what we take here. He's very good. Although not incredible. I mean, he often just ends up getting, trading. But he can also be a surprise 5 damage. I like, green is open enough that we could do it. But, like, looking at this pack, there's nothing in green worth taking anyway. I also like Adverse Conditions, incidentally, but we're not in blue. Royal's Retribution is good. People still underrate it. They're worried about people having to play around it, but my response to that is always being able to play around it. My response to that is always if the possibility of a card in your opponent's hand is making you play differently and usually slowing you down, meaning you only swing with 1 creature at a time or block with 1 creature at a time, then it's probably a pretty good card. I mean, if your opponent's not careful, then get 2 for 1, but if they are careful, the flip side is they are playing they're playing Magic in a way that's not ideal because they're worried you have Royal's Retribution in your hand. So sometimes just showing your opponent you have one in game 1 can change everything. But yeah, we'll take the Duststalker here. A Ruin Processor once again would be nice. Maybe we'll get one. So Gruul-Draz Overseer is pretty good. And it's probably, I mean, it's not amazing, but it's probably what I'll take here. Pack is, I mean, Valakut Predator's fine, but I think I like the Overseer more at this point of the draft. So that's what I'll take. I think a second Nettle Drone over Silent Skimmer is definitely what one wants to do, and it is what we'll do. Okay, Skitter Skin is probably what we take here over a second Demon's Grasp. It's another colorless beater, and I think that's pretty good. The Nullifier would be good if we had a little more fixing. I mean, we have Pilgrim's Eye, so it might be worth going into, but I don't see a reason in stretching myself into a 3rd color unless we really open something that makes us want to do that. So we'll just take the Skitter Skin. Okay. So Swarm Surge, Outnumber, Vestige, and Culling Drone are all things our deck wants. In terms of colorless creatures, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 already. So Swarm Surge is tempting, but I think I'd rather just have the good removal spell and Outnumber over the Drone and the Vestige and the Swarm Surge. Okay, that Royal's Retribution. Actually, it's a different Royal's Retribution. Yeah, this pack is decidedly unexciting for us. I think I'm going to take maybe Oracle of Dust. I mean, I think it's more likely we play it. Like if we open up Fathom Feeder or something, we'll be splashing blue, and it may make our deck. But the rest of the cards in this pack are, other than Royal's Retribution, are not especially playable. So yeah, I'll take the Oracle. It's the best card there, sadly, for that pack. Okay, a Coils is pretty good, but again, not in our colors for sure. But I think I'll take it. It might even be worth splashing for if we need removal. We don't want Unified Front, I don't think. All right, well, our colors are definitely starting to dry up on us. I think here we just take the Blighted Gorge. Boiling Earth is pretty good sideboard card, so it is worth thinking about that. But I think I'll take the Gorge. I like those lands. And then we got a Boiling Earth anyway. There's also a Looming Spires, but I think I like Boiling Earth a little more just because it's a pretty strong sideboard card against allies and decks that have a lot of Scions, or any creatures with 1 toughness, which are the decks that I named. But there's more than that out there. I'm liking the 2 Nettle Drones. That's a pretty powerful thing to have. I've never actually drafted one of these, even with all the drafting I've done. But I think it's probably worth having in this deck. So I think I'm going to take an evasive creature away from someone. I don't want Warpaint or Nirkana Assassin. So that's what I'll do. Stalker is meh, as we've said over and over again. I think I'll take a Pathway Arrows as a sideboard card. Yeah, man. Our colors really dried up in the latter part of this pack, but green also isn't really showing up for us here. I'll take the Tactics, which is the best card left. I'll take it away from someone, and I'll do it again. And now I'll take a land because I'd be fine with somebody playing a Core Scout in their deck. It would be good for me even. Okay, so let's see here. Ooh, Desolation Twin. Second Brood Monitor, man. I could have had such a good green deck. But I'd probably just take Ruination Guide here. It's just a really good card. There's an Evolving Wilds. And maybe we want that since it's not like, I mean, we'll be splashing blue for like Ruination Guide and Tightening Coils. So we could take like an Outnumber. But I think Ruination Guide's good enough that we go ahead and splash it and run our Pilgrim's Eye and a couple islands and maybe something a little different. If we can get another Evolving Wilds in this pack, I'd be pretty happy. If this Skimmer comes back or this Outnumber comes back, I would also be pretty happy. But we're going to take the Ruination Guide here. Okay. Aligned Head Draw Network, can be pretty good against in certain matchups. And our deck doesn't currently have anything that would get hit by it other than our Dust Stalker, I guess. Although with Ruination Guide in play, Skitter Skin also gets hit. But I don't think it's what I want to take here. I mean, it's either Valakut Predator or Vestige of Emrakul, I think. Or Culling Drone, really. Wouldn't mind another 2-drop. Wouldn't mind processing things a little bit more. I mean, at this point, I'm hoping we pick up a Ruin Processor, so having a few things that can exile things is relevant. I think the fact that it's colorless... Valakut Predator is a very good attacker, but I think the fact that Culling Drone's colorless is pretty relevant in our deck at this point. So I think it's what I take. Clutch is also a good card, but I don't know if I want to be stretching myself across 3 blue cards. Yeah, I don't think I do. I think I just go with the boring old Culling Drone. Ooh, Benthic Infiltrator. And another Pilgrim's Eye, which would allow... That's interesting. Benthic Infiltrator isn't as valuable in our deck as it is in most of blue, black, red decks because we don't have any processors. There's a good chance we pick up a few, but we already have a few ways of exiling things. And another Pilgrim's Eye makes it so we can splash blue like really easily, and it's colorless. So I think I like that. Kozilek's Channeler is also very tempting, especially since we saw that Desolation to him. But I think I just go with the second Pilgrim's Eye here. Yeah, that's where I'm going. Ooh, Brood Butcher. Well, splashing green is a possibility. In this pack, it has a Stone Fury, which is fine, but I don't know if I want to. Slide Runner, which is fine. And the Miasma, which is a very strong sideboard card. But if I cut out the blue cards I have, I really love Brood Butcher. I've had a lot of success with it in the past. So I think I may take it here and maybe even try to splash 2 colors. Like take out the coils and just run the Ruination Guide and the Brood Butcher. We do have 2 Pilgrim's Eyes, so it's not completely ridiculous to do that. I think I take the Butcher just because he's that strong of a card. So I did it. Okay, here I think we just pick up a Sure Strike. It's a good combat trick that I'm happy with having. I don't really think we want Mortuary Mire in this deck in the end. But yeah, we'll take a Sure Strike. Zada plus Sure Strike is something. Okay. Well, green is starting to look more and more attractive. We do have this amazing Brood Monitor, who unfortunately is double green. But we also have 1 Fertile Thicket, which can help us fix, in addition to our 2 Pilgrim's Eyes. And we could pick up a Lifespring Druid, who would also help us fix. So our deck could end up being pretty weird. I mean, Zada's fine, but not exciting enough, I don't think. I think I'm just going to go for this Druid here and move more towards, cut this coils, and move into 3 colors. So I think we put Fertile Thicket in here too. Yeah. So what do we want here? I think I'll just take a Looming Spires here. Nothing else in this pack is especially good for us, I don't think. Glastria Nightwatch or Valakut Invoker. That is a question for you. Neither of them is especially exciting, but we have better 5-drops, although we only have 2 5-drop creatures. I think I take the Invoker, though. He can turn into a... Ooh, Evolving Wilds. That's beautiful for us, especially because this pack is devoid of anything else we want. All right, well, we can go our crazy 4-color route. I think I take a Predator now, though. Our Gruul Draw's Overseer is going to be less good in a world where we aren't playing a whole lot, or playing not that many swamps, probably. I mean, we'll certainly have a decent number, but I think I take the Predator over the Hedron Network, which, as I've mentioned, is a good sideboard card, but the Predator will make our deck probably in place of that Invoker. So here's another Oracle of Dust, which is side... I mean, I think I take Plummet, though. It's a better sideboard card, and we can probably actually cast it. And I think I'll happily take another one. There are definitely matchups where you're like, man, I would love to have 2 Plummets to side in. I'm going to take a pretty basic land, and another pretty basic land, and an okay sideboard card. I say that, but I've never actually sided it in. Where it's worth siding is when your opponent awakens a card like Coastal Discovery or Ondu Rising, because you can destroy the land and it basically counters their spell, because those spells don't actually target anybody. So, but I've never been seen that happen, and I'd have to see 3 or 4 cards that it does something against consistently to want to do it. Okay, so we may not end up running Blighted Gorge at all. And her deck's actually a little small. But I definitely think between the 2 Pilgrim's Eye and the Eyes and the Evolving Wilds, we can swing running 3 colors. Like blue just for the 1 Ruination Guide, and green for the Druid. Well, we may even cut the Druid. But the Druid helps us fix, and we also have 2 really good green cards. So, I mean, Boiling Earth may even be main boardable. You can do some good things when you attack into an opponent and they block, in certain ways, and then you can Boiling Earth to wipe their board, and it already kills a lot of early creatures in the format anyway. So it's definitely worth thinking about. I'm glad I picked up this Brood Monitor when it wheeled all the way back to us. But yeah, we probably don't play our Gorge anymore. We don't want a land that produces colorless in this thing. But we need to figure out a 20-second card, I think. I mean, I think it's better to run a 20-second card than a 19th land, even in this deck where we're sort of stretched, sort of thin. The Brood Monitor having double green is a little bit annoying. It's either the Invoker or the Boiling Earth, neither of which is super exciting. I could also go for Tightening Coils, but I think minimizing my blue is ideal, because green is definitely our 3rd most prevalent color, because our green cards are so much stronger than our blue ones are. I mean, I guess I could run Blighted Gorge just as a 19th land that actually does something. That might be better than anything, but it still only produces colorless, so it's not really... I'm not loving the idea. So I think we're still on Boiling Earth versus Valakut Invoker, and I think I go with the Invoker. And I run these 3 lands. The Thicket, 2 Pilgrim's Eyes, and the Evolving Wilds will all help us fix. So we probably only need to run 1 island, since we'll have 4 ways of getting an island, including drawing an island. So probably only need 1 island. We probably need something like 4 forests, which if that's what I'm going to do, maybe it's not worth running Lifespring Druid, because casting it on turn 3 is going to be pretty hard. So I think maybe I cut it. Even though the fixing's good, I think between the Pilgrim's Eyes, the Evolving Wilds, and the Fertile Thickets, singular Fertile Thicket, we probably have enough fixing, and we're more often than not just not going to be able to play that thing on turn 3. And if we can just only need greed mana for the late game, playing 4 forests sounds pretty reasonable, and then the rest. Yeah, let's see what it says to us. Okay, 1 island, it agrees. 3 forests, 5 swamps. Do I agree with 5 swamps? Let's sort by color real quick. So, the thing about swamps is our Gruuldraw's Overseer makes them better. But its ability is going to be pretty good in our deck anyway, even if we don't have more than that, swamps-wise. So I think it's probably okay. And it's another card we only need to play late, like both our doubles that aren't red anyway. We only need to play late. So I think 5-1, 7-3 is probably okay. That gives us 5 green sources, basically, because of our Thicket and our Evolving Wilds. Yeah, I think I'm down with that. I think this is the first time. I built a 5-color deck once in this format when I didn't record, and it did not go especially well. But I think this first time in recording I've made a 4-color deck in this format. But I think this was the time to do it when we got stuff like Brood Butcher and Brood Monitor showing up at our doorstep. So, yeah, I think this will be our deck. We did not get a Ruin Processor, which is a little sad. We passed a couple, and I think everyone knows now that they're good. It used to be pretty easy to pick one up late. But, yeah. All right, we'll see how this deck does. It seems like it's going to be pretty fun. It's a little different than anything I've made so far in the format, but I think it's definitely pretty powerful. Anyway, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.